Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. I think.
Now the sun moves a bit.
Moves across, yeah. All right, how are we?
Very well.
Very well.
Excellent.
Can't complain.
I don't have any news, so I suppose I should introduce us, or we should introduce ourselves. I'm Schmitty. Last, my love has come along.
I thought that was going to be something else. I thought it said CCDS Floorball. May I share info on a pop Christmas yummy treats event here? I don't even know who the mum is. Sorry, that was very weird. Who's Natasha?
All right, well, that'll teach you for looking
Sorry,
at
I
the phone when we're meant to be recording. And don't worry, I will leave that in because I particularly like the way we responded to it.
Well
anyway,
done.
I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky. And together we are
Trial by Wine.
And what are we drinking? Swanee, you've got something new.
I have. I've cracked open a DC.
Oh, a Diet Coke.
My first
the
of the day.
A little
I
fridge
thought I was
fact.
being a bit sneaky with the Diet Coke because I thought that there was definitely more pilferage of Coke Zero if I bought that, because I thought no one seems to want Diet Coke. So I've always try and have Coke Zero and assume some will be stolen. But I thought the Diet Coke was sort of my private collection.
That's yours.
And then I saw someone actually sneakily taking one out of the fridge last night, and I went, I can see you doing that, and that's for me. And they just looked at me and just walked off with it anyway. So there you go. Nothing is sacred. It would be the point. Nothing is sacred.
I think you've got to fight fire with fire and start getting someone to can piss, carbonated piss.
I was thinking
and
exactly
then
the same
label it as DC and say,
Yep.
I wouldn't drink that if I were you.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they take it and they drink it. They go, this tastes like piss. And they say, I told you I wouldn't drink that if I were you.
Yeah.
But you
need
didn't
to
listen to
booby
your
trap it.
mother. You need to
Yeah.
start listening.
I like it.
Yes. Right. And boys, what are you drinking?
Just more sparkling water because
Good.
we're
'Cause
still
you
only
need to
a couple of
hydrate.
days from the unfortunate rosé incident.
Was there any incident with it, or was it just that you
No,
were very
just that
tired, a bit emotional, or just at sleep?
Just woke up going, I don't know what happened.
Do you literally
That's
not
really standard
remember?
for me every time I drink.
No, I do not remember.
See, I only have one time where I have a moment where something like I have no memory of what happened at a certain point in time. And
I know I have it every time I drink now.
Yeah.
really,
Same
you
with
black
me.
out.
It's quite bad. And what happens is, what I think it is if we go to because more often than not, if I'm drinking, I will drink quite a bit because I don't drink every day kind of thing. I go out
Like
and
a
I'm
good
doing a
binge,
social event or
yeah.
I go to a party or whatever else.
And I smash it. Yeah.
And there will be things where sometimes I can't remember entire conversations quite often, or it's not like I'm missing massive bits.
Entire
I don't remember,
podcasts.
but things where I just can't remember stuff.
That's us.
And it's got something to do with, I think for me, is my brain cannot cope with the rapid nature which I drink and the alcohol affects my brain. So it says that I can seem perfectly normal to be talking to, and no one's going, "Oh my God, she's shit-faced." It's not
No,
like
you're not
that.
forming memories.
I'm not forming memories.
That's right,
And that's
yeah.
the problem that I have is when, particularly if I drink sort of, if you're at a party and drinking champagne or something like that, it goes straight to your head. So, if you're drinking quite quickly, it's a problem for me. And
I
it's
definitely
quite often.
wasn't forming memories.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
it's that kind of thing.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Nothing happens. Not anything stupid, but I just can't remember it.
I think the problem wasn't how much I drank; it was how much I ate. I think if I had eaten more, it would have slowed down the whole process a little bit, and I would
Oh
have
God, even that doesn't work for me.
been fine.
I think it's volume of alcohol for me and the type of alcohol. So
I
on the
just
one
meant on Saturday. I think.
Yeah,
was
okay. Right. So I suppose with that interesting piece of information for everyone to dwell on, I should tell you that I am continuing on gin and tonic. So I went upstairs and I filled up my giant balloon of glass with mostly, it's all tonic, with the tiniest dash of that gin. All right. So who's got a story for us?
I do.
Excellent.
I do. I'm going to go straight into my sources just so that I
Okay.
can get them out of the way. So Wikipedia, I liked this one. Everything Explained Today.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I feel like that's just AI.
Why do you think they added the today bit? That seems like there was already everything explained, and they went everything explained today.
Today.
And in the future, everything explained tomorrow.
Yes. Nothing explained yesterday.
Yeah.
So then Trove, Orica AI, Australian Dictionary of Biography. It's a very random lot.
Stop it. This is too much. I can't. You've thrown me.
The lineup, and then paperspast.natlib.government.nz.
What the hell?
It's when you said Trove, I thought this is a historic story.
What's Trove? I don't even know what Trove is.
It's an archive.
Website.
It's obviously not the Daily Mail and Wikipedia.
It was actually
my two sources.
Old newspapers, isn't it?
There was an article of a newspaper clipping there that I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before we preempt it too much, on with the story.
Yeah, go on.
So today I'm bringing the crime back to our local hood. So this story starts in Aubury.
Oh, cool.
Which is what Stu and I describe as having 2 degrees of separation. You either know someone or you know someone who knows them. So as we know, whenever we do a local story, there's always a risk that one of our many listeners may know the case or be personally related to someone in it.
Okay.
Which, of course, could make things very awkward given the nature of our conversations. And 2 degrees of separation just isn't enough. So to that end, we're also getting into the timey, winey machine so that we can put some years between the crime and our listeners to minimise the likelihood of any awkward moments.
I thought you were going to tell us to be circumspect in our responses, to which I was going to scoff and say, that's not what we're here for. That's
ridiculous. Yeah. No, I'm going back in time.
I was just going to share this. I was listening to a podcast that I listen to regularly. It's in the US and it's 2, I don't know what they are, millennial, younger people. And one of them was telling the story about how she had been brought to tears by some negative feedback that they got from a listener who didn't like that she was being a little bit flippant about pronouns, because she said her pronouns being she, her, which rhymed with her surname. And the person was upset by that. And I couldn't.
What?
I just was like, could you imagine how Paul would respond if we got feedback?
Imagine if we got feedback. Imagine if we got feedback.
If our listeners actually
imagine if someone listened
sent
to
us
it.
a message. I know, right?
That'd be exciting. We'd thank them.
We would. We'd say thank you for telling us off.
I know you don't think of it. You're our number one listener. I know you thought you're being hypercritical, but, we've got to be thankful.
We're just happy
You've
that
earned
you
a
heard
top
us at
fan
all.
badge.
Yeah. Imagine how much that would annoy them.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, we don't even do pronouns particularly. I'm she, her, if anyone cares.
People trawling the internet looking for something to be offended by. Like,
I thought so. And I thought, look,
go outside and enjoy the world.
Well, what's funny is this pair of podcasters that I'm referring to are so careful about everyone's feelings, and they go out of their way to the point where they probably annoy me. In fact, they annoy me because I just think, just take your own position, hold your lane and be okay with it, right? But to imagine this girl crying over that because she tries so hard to not upset anyone, I thought, fucking hell, you should listen to our shit.
I saw a thing today which kind of lends
Somebody
itself
called
to
a
this.
ambulance.
But this is kind of like the other side of that coin. So there was a thing just that I saw, I was having my lunch, where on one of the talkback radio stations, so they weren't being totally like over the top with it, but, I guess they're planting a seed. Someone had called in and said that they had tried to do their car insurance online. And then when they looked at the options, there was, gender, female, male, then there was non-binary. Anyway, when they went and did non-binary, it was significantly cheaper, like hundreds of dollars cheaper. So what they did was they had this same guy looked at a couple of different places, like I won't say the name of the company, but a couple of different companies. Then the radio station had their own staff do it as well. So whether you identify as a male or a female compared to a non-binary person, it was hundreds of dollars, sometimes $1,000 difference in.
That's interesting. I'm going to go get a quote.
And that's what everyone was like. You look at the comments underneath. The comments are a joke. Everyone's like, well, you could call me the bathroom floor. I don't care. I'll identify as whatever you need me to be. To save $1,000, I'd do anything. And I thought, you know what? This is going to kick off because people will say they're anything. They said, well, it's correct. Yeah. I identified as this at this time. And I went, oh, my God.
Or disprove.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Because it's what you identify as. So,
I know, so
surely everyone will go, all right, well, I identify as this and that's what I want for my insurance. But I thought, this has the potential to really blow up.
Surely non-binary people are safer drivers because they have less accidents than non-binary people.
Well, that's what they said. That's what the presenter was saying. I'm assuming there's research, there must be, right, to support that, because that's how you do all of your modelling. So I'm sure they'll come out and they'll share that with us, because that's what's going to prove that. And I was like, I wonder how many people there is in that, the data, what's the word I'm after? The group.
In the sample.
Yes, the sample. That's it. Yeah, I wonder how that compares to.
I feel like their algorithm would be going, over the last 100 years, there's been no incidents of non-binary people having accidents because there hasn't been any.
That's right. And all of a sudden you're saving $1,000 on your car insurance. Are you looking it up, Smitty?
I am. I'm doing a quote.
I thought you were doing a quote.
I love it.
I can't believe it. And I'm telling him that I'm actually even just looking at my old one. Yeah, whatever.
Schmitty, do you want to correct your pronouns that you announced at the start of this episode?
yeah, I'm they, them.
What am I? Am I a they, them? Is that what I am?
Am I a they, them? It's going to save me money. Just
what do you identify? Well, it depends on my car insurance. I'm a they, them.
Okay. All right. So here we go. My current insurer, has a thing saying, are you male or female? And then there's a line under it that says, I'm not represented here, to which they say, supporting our gender diverse community, we're committed to ensuring our products, blah, blah, blah. We're reviewing our systems and you can only be male or female in our systems. So
someone's had a
panic. I wonder what your millennial podcasters would say about not being recognised as non-binary by an insurance company.
I reckon they've done that today.
The funny thing about,
they're all in a panic.
The funny thing about these poor people, this poor couple who, podcasters who are so upset. One girl is heterosexual and identifies as a female, and the other one is non-binary. So what are you criticising the people?
It's literally people. They're your supporters, mate.
Correct. Isn't it crazy?
Mate's not a pronoun, is it?
I don't know what it is. I think it is in
WA.
Digress. Is it? Oh.
I'm sure it is in WA. And that's all there is.
Surely that's a safe pronoun for everyone, mate.
What, mate or legend? You choose.
Why don't you just call people by their name all the time, and then you don't have to worry about it? Instead of saying they, them, or she, or her, or him, and whatever, just say Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry, Clarky, we absolutely digress.
No, fine. So let's set the dial for 1934.
Okay.
It's the 1st of September, the first day of spring in Australia, and local man Thomas Griffiths was walking his prize bull along the side of How Long Road near Aubury. And just to clarify for our listeners,
how long?
How long is a place that the road leads to, not a road that is so long that everyone asks, how long is this road? Yeah. He notices the strong smell of kerosene.
Uh-oh.
Which is unusual as he walks his prize bull along How Long Road. So follows his nose until he discovers a Hessian grain sack in the table drain covering something. Upon closer look, he notices a badly burned body.
Oh.
Of course, he reports it to the police, and an autopsy is done, and it is discovered that the body is that of a woman in her 20s who had been badly beaten, and an X-ray revealed that she had been shot and had a bullet in her neck.
Oh, my God. That's a lot.
It's a lot. She had a towel wrapped around her head.
And then burnt.
And was wearing yellow silk pyjamas with Chinese dragons on them.
Oh, well.
Now, we're in Australia in the Depression, and so these pyjamas are pretty fancy, which is unusual. And to this end, the woman is given the name the Pyjama Girl.
Oh, I don't like that.
Police across Australia are trying to get to the bottom of what's happened, but they hit a wall. Forensic technology is limited, and there are no clues to help them identify the victim. They are relying on witness testimony, which is scarce, but also, as we know, unreliable. Newspapers are publishing headlines and theories which spread the word of what's gone on, but no one comes forward saying they know the victim. The Pyjama Girl remains unidentified, and so the body was sent to Sydney University Medical School, where it was preserved in a zinc-lined bath of formalin, and get this, put on public display in an attempt to identify her.
To find it, yeah.
Could you imagine that happening today?
No.
No.
of its time. So nothing happened. Case goes cold for a while. Then in January 1938, a coronial inquest into the Pyjama Girl's death is opened. The inquest was attended by Thomas Griffiths, the bull walker who found the body. And at the inquest, Detective Sergeant McRae, one of the investigators responsible for the case, said that even though police had made extensive inquiries, they were unable to place any information before the inquiry about the exact time or place she met her death. McRae went on to say that in his opinion, the body had been placed in a bag before rigor mortis set in, and judging from the position in which the body was found, he was convinced that the dead woman had been carried some distance in a motor vehicle before the body was placed in the culvert. The injuries to the head were caused, in his opinion, by a heavy and possibly blunt instrument, such as a tire lever. The inquest also revealed more information about the potato-type sack, her pyjamas, and the towel that was wrapped around her head. Detective McRae noted that infrared technology revealed the letters DALM, and the burnt portion of the sack contained the letters ORE. This, he believed, referred to the Dalmore district in Gippsland, which is also in Victoria, but a long way away. Yeah. But they were a fairly common sack at the time, so it led to a dead end. The inquest was unable to determine who the Pyjama Girl was, nor who had killed her.
I can't get past the chap who's walking his prize bull. Is that like taking your dog for a walk? I mean, that seems odd. Anyway.
Maybe he was going to market.
Yeah, it seems like Piggy went to market.
So there was a lead in 1941 when the Daily Telegraph newspaper published an article claiming reporters had obtained a secret police file in which a Mrs. J. Rutledge stated that the Pyjama Girl was her daughter, Anna Philomena Morgan. Detectives whose reports are summarised in the file were impressed by the resemblance between Anna and the Pyjama Girl, but they did not believe they were identical and could not conclusively say that they were the same person. They also noted that before claiming that Anna was the Pyjama Girl, Miss Rutledge had twice stated that the Pyjama Girl was not her daughter. The police file also revealed that Anna's grandmother, a woman by the name of Mrs. Jones, reported that her granddaughter was missing back on the 1st of December 1934, a few months after the body had been found. The secret file also revealed that Miss Rutledge viewed the body of the Pyjama Girl in 1937. Police hold a statement signed by her which said, "The body is in no way identical to my daughter. The teeth are altogether different. That is the first thing I looked for. My daughter's hair was very dark brown and in no way identical with that of the unknown woman." So it seems to me that Mrs. Rutledge is either an unreliable historian or a truth stretcher, or possibly both.
Have I missed something, Clarky? Had she been burnt?
Yes.
Or she just had smelled of kerosene? Oh, okay.
Yes. So there was part of her... So what I can gather, because it starts off and I'm thinking, it's just a crisp in the table drain.
Yeah.
But I think parts of the body must have been badly burnt.
But parts
of it not.
Okay, because I was going to say, it seems a bit weird that you can say about any burnt body that doesn't look like my daughter. It's like, no, it wouldn't look like anybody's daughter.
Yeah, I don't think she was flamethrower burnt, to go back to our Christmas story.
Okay.
I think she was mildly kerosene
around
burnt.
You burnt. Yeah,
inferno.
Oh God, yeah, it was kerosene. It wasn't avgas.
Yeah, correct. God,
that was horrendous.
In 1942, her body was transferred to police headquarters, where it remained until 1944. Several names for the identity of the dead woman were suggested, among them the previously discussed Anna Philomena Morgan, and a new name, Linda Agostini. Both women were missing, both bore a likeness to the Pyjama Girl, and both were of the right age. Several witnesses had suggested that the corpse could be that of Linda. However, police were misled by an inaccurate dental record, which suggested that the corpse wasn't Linda. They kept trying to find the identity of the Pyjama Girl, and in February 1944, they re-examined forensic evidence and noticed errors in the plotting of the dental records. They requested new charts, which were subsequently matched to those of Linda. So police already had a file on Linda because she was a missing person, and several of her acquaintances confirmed the body's identity. As corroboration, freckles on an upper arm were found to match those in earlier photographs of Linda. So who was Linda? Linda Agostini was born Linda Platt on the 12th of September 1905 in Forest Hill, London.
Oh.
As a teenager, Platt worked at a confectionery shop in Surrey before travelling to New Zealand at the age of 19 after what was rumoured to be a broken romance. She remained in New Zealand until 1927 when she moved to Sydney and worked as an usherette at Romano's Cinema. Linda lived in a boarding house on Darlinghurst Road in King's Cross, where accounts tell she entertained young, attractive men. She was a heavy drinker and a jazz-age partygoer who had difficulty adjusting to stability. And it was at Romano's where she met Antonio Tony Agostini in 1928. Tony was born in Treviso, Italy, in 1903 and migrated to Australia in 1927 and was running the cloakroom at Romano's. The two fell in love and married in Sydney on the 22nd of April 1930. Tony and Linda were a popular couple. He was 5'7", roughly 170 centimetres, tall, trim and dark-haired. She was only 5 feet, 153 centimetres, attractive and well-liked. In 1933, the couple moved to Melbourne to get away from the bad influence of Linda's Sydney friends. They settled in Carlton, where Tony worked on the newspaper Il Giornale Italiano, and Linda took a job at Ferrari's hairdressing salon in the Manchester Unity building. After Linda's death, Tony Agostini was held in various internment camps due to his nationalist sympathies. So this was during the time of World War II, and at that time, Italy was aligned with Germany and Japan. After he was released, he moved back to Sydney. Once the Pyjama Girl was identified as Linda Agostini, the police rekindled their investigation, wanting to talk to Tony. On the 4th of March 1944, Tony was interviewed by the police commissioner William John Mackay, who had been a regular patron at Romano's in the 1930s and knew Tony from back then. Tony said that their relationship was not an easy one. Linda sometimes left him for long periods and drank too much, which shamed him within the Italian community. Noticing that he seemed to be in a nervous state, Mackay asked him what had come over him. Tony then confessed to killing his wife. During one quarrel in bed, Linda was fatally shot with a pistol, which Tony alleged she had held. To avoid a police investigation, he carried her body by car across the New South Wales border to the How Long Road, approximately 8 kilometres west of Aubury, where he hid it in a culvert and attempted to set fire to it. Tony was subsequently arrested and charged with murder, and he was taken to Melbourne to stand trial. In June, the jury returned a verdict of manslaughter in under 2 hours. They deemed it manslaughter as they believed that Tony had no intention to kill his wife or inflict grievous bodily harm. Okay. However, they also rejected Tony's account that it was an accident. In sentencing, the judge, Sir Charles Lowe, said they thought the jury was merciful in its verdict.
Can I just ask, sorry, didn't she get shot in the neck and set on fire?
Yeah, so she also got beaten by the tyre.
But he didn't mean to kill her.
Well,
are you having me on?
No. So the judge is saying he thinks the jury were merciful.
The jury. Are you pulling my dick, Veronica?
Yeah. So the judge goes on. You're right. So the judge goes on to say, Tony, my view of the jury's finding is that they thought you had been for a long time sorely tried by your wife's conduct and had been provoked to the limit of your endurance at the time you attacked her, inflicting dreadful injuries and causing death.
But that's all right because she asked for it.
Yeah, kind of. The weapon you used must have been very heavy and was used with great violence. Such conduct is a serious crime. So he's cottoned on to the fact that the jury have probably misread the situation. Sure, she might have been hard to be with, but you don't then get clubbed on the head with. No, God, no. And regardless of whether he snapped or not, there's a lot that's gone on there that reeks of murder, not of poor little man.
Accidental manslaughter or whatever, yeah.
So he then sentenced Tony to 6 years imprisonment in Pentridge with hard labour. That bit made me think about jail today, because I like that you're in Pentridge with hard labour as part of your punishment. There's actually stuff you've got to do as part of your punishment, not just sit
Soft
around and
labour.
watch TV and get looked after to a degree. He only served 3 years and 1 month of his sentence after he was paroled under a general amnesty and was deported to Italy on the 21st of August 1948. So I think that general amnesty was to get people who were nationalists back to their own country, I'm assuming. He married a widow, Giuseppina Gassoni, in December 1952, and he died in Sardinia in 1969. Once identified, Linda was given a funeral at state expense and was buried in Preston Cemetery on the 13th of July 1944. That should have been the end to what was at the time one of Australia's most notorious unsolved crimes. However, some were still dissatisfied. Certain medical examiners noted that Linda Agostini's eyes were blue, whereas subsequent examinations of the Pyjama Girl's remains revealed that her eye colour was brown.
Okay.
Linda Agostini reportedly had a different bust line and nose shape than the Pyjama Girl.
Okay. So it's not Linda?
Though Tony Agostini testified to using petrol to burn the body, the medical examiner claimed it was done with kerosene. That one I can probably overlook.
Yeah.
Furthermore, and perhaps most oddly, though he had confessed to the crime, Tony refused to admit that the Pyjama Girl was his wife. So he's saying he killed his wife. He's saying she's not the Pyjama Girl. In the 1940s, DNA evidence was obviously not an option. And though today there might be a chance for forensic testing to definitively solve the Pyjama Girl mystery, Sydney authorities have said they have no intention of reopening the case, which raises some interesting questions. So first and foremost, was it really Linda Agostini whose body was found in the road that day?
Probably not.
Is it enough to have faith in the legal process of the time? And as technology improves, how much time, effort, and money should be spent on trying to confirm or refute previous convictions? And what should trigger this? I mean, if the eye colour evidence is correct, Linda had blue eyes and the Pyjama Girl had brown, which means her identity is still a mystery. What do you think? And who's in your sights for sentencing?
Does anyone have of the alternative options of who it could be? Are their family still wanting to know what happened to their loved one?
For sure.
I don't think there are now. So apparently there was quite a long list of people who were missing at the time who loosely fit the description. But there were those two, Anna and Linda, who I think were the main ones the police looked into.
Because I think to the question about, who cares or not who cares, but after 50 years, 60 years, at what point do you reopen a case and spend state money on determining who it was? I think if there was a relative because there was a Philomena Morgan one, wasn't there as well? And, any of them who were saying, I think it was my grandmother or whatever, then I think there is a case to be made to say they deserve to know, because the remains are in Preston Cemetery. And that could be my auntie or my, and I would like to know that. So I think if there is someone still saying that person could be my relative, then yes, I think there's a duty for us to determine the fact of the matter, even if there's a cost associated with the DNA testing. But that shouldn't be terribly difficult, because are there any remains that are not interred? Any samples?
Not that I know of.
Because if there were samples that hadn't been interred, that wouldn't be terribly difficult. Problem you're going to have is if you're going to exhume any of it to be able to determine a DNA link, and then you've got to ask, what's her name, Agostini's family, if any, or Platt, was that her maiden name?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
who
if
are
anyone
in London.
Yeah, so if anyone still exists in that family, you've got to say, can we have permission to exhume some of the remains to determine who it is?
Yeah, and given that's 90 years ago, it's not a case that is currently in the media, where
you don't know, given that she was in a bath of something, how much DNA evidence is even going to be that available for those remains now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing was bizarre. It's just what the hell was going on in Aubury in 19?
Well,
What was
he
it,
just dumped her
1934?
there. That's the thing. So nothing. He wasn't from the area. The body. He drove her up from Melbourne.
That's a long way to go in
It's a long way
1930
in
something or other.
1934. 100% it is. Like nowadays,
enough
it's a
now.
3-hour drive. It would have
Yeah.
been, God, nearly double that. Maybe not, but wouldn't have been far off.
What if he did kill his wife because Linda Agostini hasn't shown up, right? So we're going to have to assume that he did kill his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then he drank all day at a winery. And then he had 2 bottles of rosé. And he
Ran
just
into some people on the way out.
And he just didn't remember where he put her. And then sometime later, when he confesses, and that's why he's not saying it's the pajama girl, he's saying, I killed my wife. I don't know where I put her.
I mean, that's a credible theory in my eyes.
It's a long way to drive up the back.
That could very well have happened.
I think I did.
The driving might have been an issue after all of that rosé.
But he didn't drive there because it's not her. He doesn't even remember where he put his body.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Which does mean that the pajama girl is not Linda.
Did he say that she had those pajamas?
So that was one of the things I was trying to work out. Surely there would be something if they were that unusual. But there was nothing that I could find that spoke about that side of things as to whether or not Linda had them or somebody else had those pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
Being such an old story, there's not a lot of info other than the main stories you get that just get regurgitated in different words. So that was hard to find anything more
elaborative. Is that a word?
So what was your other question? So your question was, should we reopen the case? And
yeah. So the whole thing of should you just go? It's 90 years. The legal process was played out. Just leave it. And I think, we do that a lot in modern day where you go, if there's nothing substantial that comes out, we're not going to retry it. Is the fact that you might have better DNA evidence now or better forensic technology now enough of a reason to go, let's just check it? Because they'd be digging people up everywhere.
But I think you could relatively easily already determine that it's not Linda. She had different eye colour.
If you did the test. Well, the thing is there's reports of that. So there's nothing now that would say that. There's reports of that back then.
But didn't they also have dental records that were inconclusive or something, suggesting they weren't a match?
So apparently the dental records weren't correct, the first lot. And so there's, when you're looking back, you go, well, did the police make the evidence fit the case they needed to?
Was someone just getting a clearance rate here?
And there's someone who's written a book or an article about that, basically suggesting that the police didn't do a thorough job, and it's an example of where they fit the dental records to identify Linda rather than, and I mean, I don't know how you can prove that. You can certainly surmise that, but it's just interesting because you could go back on all of these historical cases and do some level of testing, but do you want to?
Do you think that Linda's kind of an unusual name for someone who's born in 1905?
I don't know.
I mean, sure. If it was Linda Carter.
It's kind of a name of the 70s and as an
I
adult.
agree.
It's kind of a weird. I can't imagine someone called Linda. Like Linda was like the name of teachers, and I had like a cousin or an aunt called Linda. It was just a really 80s, 70s, 80s, maybe even 60s name. But that I can't imagine being in London being called Baby Linda.
It's progressive, isn't it?
It is. It's not of the time.
And yeah, so the Schmitty, the other bit is just what should be the trigger for it. So if someone does write an article saying that there's reports of the eye colour being brown and reports of it of blue, is that enough to go, let's go back and do it? Or do you just go, shut up, mate? No one cares anymore.
No.
Well, I think it comes down to if someone cares. So
that
if there
currency
is someone
kind of
right now who's saying that could be my
a family member.
Yeah. Not necessarily of Linda's, of
a reporter.
A possible victim. No, I don't think a reporter should be the one going, this needs to be turned up. But I think if it really matters to a family member that they are relatively convinced that their relative is that victim and they would like them buried in their own family plot and
to know what happened to Auntie such and such, then I do think that it is something that we should determine. Obviously, you're not going to then try and find out who killed her, because forget it. All the evidence is lost. It's all gone in the wrong direction, and everyone who was involved would be dead now anyway.
There'd have to be something more for me, though, than just somebody saying, I want to know if that's my relative or not, because you would end up with numpties walking around old cemeteries and seeing someone with the same name as them going, I wonder if they're related to me. Can we exhume
But I think
them?
the problem here is that we're saying that because this case was closed, albeit possibly incorrectly, that it doesn't bear looking at again. Whereas there are lots of cold cases that people are still investigating and picking up, trying to close them off. What this hinges on is the idea that this is not a cold case, this is a solved case. But I think there's enough to suggest that it might not be.
Well, that's the bit I couldn't work out if there was enough, because it's reportedly there's nothing that kind of said, here's a photo of Linda with blue eyes and here's the coroner's photo of the pajama girl with brown eyes. There's nothing conclusive. And so you're talking about reports and witness testimony from 90 years ago. It's
yeah. That's the point, right? So, and it's
I think
not
if we were
conclusive. Yeah.
If you're wanting to retry someone, there's probably not enough evidence to go, we'd retry it, and that's probably a good standard to go. If it doesn't meet the barrier or the bar for retrial, do we want to go exhuming bodies?
Well, I don't think you can retry it, because at the end of the day, there's
I'm just saying that as an analogy to go in the context of what we would say today. If we go, we're going to retry that because something new has happened or something.
Yeah, new information's come.
Yeah, or an unfair trial or whatever. But I think you've just got to go, there's that many issues we've got to solve.
I don't think it was an unfair trial. I just think he was tried for a murder for someone who might not have been the actual victim. So I think he killed his wife because she disappeared, never to be heard of again.
And that's the crime that he was charged with.
Yeah. But the body that we have may not have been hers.
May not be hers, yeah, which means somebody else may have gotten away.
Somebody else got away and no one kind of knows what happened to their loved one. So
yeah.
Or Linda, where's Linda, if that's the case?
Oh, yeah, we don't know what happened to Linda's body.
Maybe Linda killed the pajama girl and then went back to London.
Well, I mean, there is a chance that in his blackout drunk moment, Linda did leave, but I doubt it. I'm making shit up now.
Of course, me too, obviously.
Yeah. Did you see images of the corpse?
No. Oh, I think I might have seen one.
It looks like a person who looks like a bit addled, but what they've done is they've taken the ash of the burn off the face.
Yeah. No wonder she's got brown eyes.
Well, it's interesting because the corpse's eyes are open. It's all a bit macabre.
Are you looking at a black and white photograph of it though?
I am, yeah. But like I'm looking at there's a photo, there's everywhere. There's a photo of Linda Agostina next to the photo of the corpse, the burnt corpse, and it would be very hard to say whether they're the same person, really. I mean, they're both female. Both have dark curly hair, or, that's set in that Marcel wave. Yeah. But other than that, I think it is quite difficult when you're looking at the charred remains of someone to say, yes, that's to use an inappropriate expression, dead ringer for that person in the photo.
They also say, like, there's a photo there that is the bridge of the nose that is different, but she'd been badly beaten as well, and it could very well just be that.
Yeah, it could be.
That's the problem.
Nice ending, whatever it was.
No.
Very violent.
Extremely violent. Yeah.
That's the problem with getting stuff from so long ago. You don't have that immediate context.
No.
I mean, all of that, is interesting, what we've just discussed. But when it comes to sentencing, I'd want to put that jury in a modern context, because that jury said, oh, well, she asked for it. Yeah. Poor fella. And let him...
It's just painful.
I mean, he said he killed his wife. Whether it was the woman that we're looking at, the corpse is hers or not, he admitted to killing his wife.
Yeah.
None of this she asked for it nonsense whatsoever. So that jury needs a good hard talking to.
old mate who wrote the article suggesting that the police didn't do their job properly, blah, 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 also made some reference that the confession may not have been a true confession. So, like, it's, I don't know.
Getting messier and messier.
Yeah, right. You put that in writing and it almost becomes fact nowadays, and it's not necessarily right.
What was the name of the old mate?
Gosh, Michael someone, I think.
Wasn't Daniel
I haven't got
Morgan?
that at my fingertips. Oh.
Who's Daniel Morgan?
It's a guy saying the sort of stuff that Clarky's saying, but what interested me
maybe it was then.
It's his surname that interests me because
he's related to.
That's why I'm wondering if there's a relative who is trying to prove that there is there's something wrong in this. I don't know if they're related. I can't say that anywhere, but just, it's just interesting that he shares the same surname.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I think that 100%, right? Piss off. It boils my blood. Sorry, no, I'm going back to the jury. It boils my blood. This, oh, well, she asked for it. It's okay. Poor fellow. No. There's nothing okay about beating the shit out of your wife and or shooting her because she gave you the shits. You just walk away and just, it's 1934. It's just post-depression. Like, you just disappear like so many other people did, Just leave, go, whatever. Piss off. I find that disgusting.
And the bit about the confession being true or not being true doesn't really matter because that was the evidence that the jury were given at the time that he had confessed. Right. And so they're basing it on the fact that he's confessed to killing his wife.
He could well have done it and it could well be her because, as you said, looking at the remains that from what we can see now, there could be a likeness, right? She's been beaten badly and all the rest of it. So the eye colour, who knows, to your point. So, I mean, she never showed up and said, no, I'm here, I'm alive. So chances are she was murdered.
Well, and there was definitely communication with her parents back in the UK about what to do with the body and all that kind of thing. And, there was some woman who'd shown up at a police station offering to pay for the burial of the body of the Pyjama girl. So, there's obviously a lot of people who were quite passionate about the case at the time.
Oh, I guess what I'm saying is that maybe she did, like, the other option is she ran away and he can't remember what happened and he thought he killed her. But chances are, Occam's razor, no. Chances are he killed her and maybe he did forget where he put her. Now, that's a hell of a drive. That's a long way to go to dump a body. Way. So I find that weird. So, maybe he did do it and the story is correct and he did confess to it and then people are just sort of saying, oh, that confession's not true, but actually it was. It's odd that he didn't admit that it was the Pyjama girl though. Like he said, I've killed my wife, but not, and that's her. But again, who knows? But regardless, the man goes to trial and the evidence is that he's confessed to killing his wife and the jury says,
manslaughter.
Don't worry about it, mate.
Never mind. It happens.
It happens to the best of
us.
I
know. It must have been really awful to have to reach a point where you had to kill her.
Yeah.
God, you poor thing. There you go. That's the story of the Pyjama girl.
And what about you two? Any thoughts on sentencing anyone?
I'm a bit perplexed, to be honest.
I think Tony definitely got his comeuppance, although, the whole deporting thing.
I don't. Yeah,
he seemed like got off pretty light, really. He wasn't in jail for that long either, was he?
Same. No, I think he got off very light. Deported back to Italy.
I reckon that would have been a cost-saving.
It's amazing. He goes through World War II as well. Survives that.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Wasn't he in Italy by then?
No.
Oh, right. That's why he survived that.
He only confessed in 44.
So, no, he did not get his comeuppance. He should have been deported back to Italy and had to serve under Mussolini and have bad shit happen. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's fair too, yes. I've I don't know about people writing, there's certainly cases where you go, wow, that's an injustice and something bad's transpired here. I think if you do an investigation and you haven't got a lot or anything conclusive, it's okay just to go, I looked into it and there wasn't really much to report, not go, oh, that's the wrong person, throw doubt on a confession that happened years prior. I don't know. Just maybe sometimes.
I think I know what you're saying. It kind of really does more damage than.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's almost
very easy to throw it out there.
That's right.
What have you got to?
Last, my love has come along. Sorry, Swanee, you were saying?
I just think it's too easy, or not too easy, but it can be that thing where to undermine something, it's complicated because you want everything to be out there in the open. You need it to be able to be discussed or whatever else. But, there are sometimes where people say, it's been said, or people had reported, or whatever. Who?
Yeah.
Who said? Who reported?
Yeah.
Based on what? That's where it gets a little bit grey and can then undermine the real stuff that does exist or has been discovered or unearthed or whatever else. That becomes dangerous, and it becomes like nearly folkloric in the sense that you hear stuff and it's like, well, that's what we heard. You've got to remember back in those days, it was like it was very different. It was probably a lot of word of mouth, people sharing stories. It wasn't like, the way news spreads now.
Yeah, and to have inconsistencies between people's statements or whatever, of course you would have that.
Yes.
It's a fake news thing, but you could be a conspiracy theorist about any murder case and go, there's these bits that didn't add up. And often they're in court and they are part of the evidence, but the jury takes it into account and still makes a verdict.
Mm.
Interesting. I don't know that I've got anything more. I mean, Tony does need something, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sending him back to Italy straight away. Like, he doesn't get the chance. Maybe in his how's this? I'll tell you what happened. He gets drunk, probably. He kills his wife. He can't remember what happens, and then he wakes up and he's on a boat being smuggled back to Italy, and he then has to go through World War II. And maybe the Allies drop a bomb on his head.
That could work. Although I want to go back to Italy, so I just feel like I can't send someone to Italy
punishment,
as a punishment. Yeah. What could have happened is I reckon he was walking along How Long Road going,
all right,
drinking rosé, walking his pool, going, how long is this going to take? And he had so many rosés and he fell over and he got rogered by his bull and could never walk again.
Okay. What about Roger?
Cop that, Tony.
Whose bull, though?
Someone's
his bull, because he was walking his bull along How Long Road.
Tony?
Oh, Tony Griffith.
Tony.
No, sorry, it wasn't. It was, what's his name?
Hang on a
Griffiths.
minute.
I was going to say the guy who found the body, yeah.
Thomas Griffith's bull rogered him.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That's
right.
I was going to say we've got mixed wires there.
Because very much. Because the bull was wise and it actually knew what had happened. It was an all-seeing bull.
Tony didn't have a bull. Mr. Griffiths was parading his prize-winning bull down How Long Road. Because I was like, what? Who takes their bull for a walk?
Maybe the prize at one. But you know how they have the octopuses that are going to determine who's going to win.
The oracles, yeah.
So maybe the bull just straight away saw him lying in the
Minority Report
table
style.
drain, drunk, and just went, mate, you just killed your wife.
Yeah.
And
Cop this one.
What a load of bull.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm a bit uncomfortable with that one, but oh well.
I reckon you should be. I reckon Tony would be too. That's the whole point.
I think he'd be very uncomfortable with that. Ooh. Well, I suppose if we have exhausted all avenues, then I think based on that rogering bull one, we probably have.
I hope we have. It's a slippery slope now.
Oof. I think on that note, as we say every week, miss you already.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.